Hello, dear students. Welcome to our TV lesson. Hope you're okay and ready to learn. Don't forget to take your notebook and pen to make notes. Today we are going to speak about effective slideshow presentation. In today's lesson, you will learn new vocabulary related to the topic. You will learn some specific information about making a good presentation. You will revise impersonal and cleft sentences. You will practice asking for, giving, and responding to advice. What do you think? How can you make a good presentation even more effective? There are some rules how to make a good presentation. The first, you need to make it easy for your audience to understand and respond. The second, think about what story you are trying to tell your audience and create your presentation to tell it. The third, be enthusiastic and honest, and the audience will respond. Now, look at the new vocabulary.
Check, compliment, convey, create, decipher, display, distract,
embellishment, emerge,
facilitate, generate, incorporate,
overuse,
present, reinforce.
Task number 1. Fill in the words below to complete do's and don'ts of an effective slideshow presentation. Let's check. Now, listen to the text.
How to make an effective slideshow presentation. When giving a presentation, a well-executed slideshow can greatly facilitate understanding of the material you're presenting and also stimulate the audience's interest in the content. However, if your slideshow distracts from rather than supports the message, you run the risk of generating the exact opposite effect. In order to avoid confusing, distracting, and losing your audience, what you need to do is follow these 3 tips. They will set you on the right track towards creating an effective slideshow presentation. 1. Avoid wordy slides. When each and every word of your presentation is displayed on your slides, you will be tempted to read from the slides, but it is the audience who will be busy reading the information on the slides rather than listening to you. This would completely defeat the purpose of a presentation. What your slides are meant to do is complement your presentation by reinforcing important points, not overwhelm your audience with information. To avoid making this common mistake, focus on conveying only one idea on each slide and limit your slides to 5 bulleted lines of text, each containing at most 5 words. 2. Avoid distracting animations. PowerPoint, Prezi, and Keynote are all powerful presentation tools, full of creative ways of animating text, shapes, and images. When used wisely, these effects can make your presentation seem more dynamic and increase the impact of your message. However, it seems that when misused, these same effects can distract the audience and make your presentation seem unprofessional. To prevent yourself from falling into this trap, use animations sparingly, incorporating them only when your message calls for it, such as when you're discussing movement or change. Additionally, rather than have effects emerging from all angles on your slide, use animations to guide the audience's eyes to what they should be focusing on as you speak. 3. Pay attention to font style, size, and color. Last but not least, pay careful attention to font selection. It goes without saying that slides that are not readable will be highly ineffective at getting your message across. Not all font styles are easy to read when projected on a large screen. An example would be serif fonts, which have small decorative lines on different parts of the letters. Fonts without these embellishments, called sans serif fonts, are more readable in presentations. Script-based fonts, which are modelled after various forms of calligraphy and handwriting, should also be avoided, as they are sometimes difficult to decipher from a distance. Font size should also be carefully considered. For text to be clearly visible even from the back of the room, experts recommend between 24 and 32-point font size for the body of your presentation, with titles ranging from 36 to 44-point size. Finally, be sure that your font stands out against the background of your slide. Contrasting colours are key. What people are generally used to is reading dark text on a light background, so that's a good place to start.
Task number 2. Match the words in bold to their meanings. Facilitate, stimulate, generating, complement, conveying, incorporating, emerging, and decipher. Let's check. Impersonal and cleft sentences. Impersonal sentences are the sentences where there is no natural subject. We usually have the word there or it in the subject position. We use there plus be to say that someone or something exists. For example, there is a clock in the village square. We use it plus be for identification. For example, there is someone on the phone for you. It's Mr. Karimov. We use it plus be for distance, temperature, time, weather, and the expressions. It's raining today. It's 4 o'clock. Cleft sentences. Cleft sentences can be used to put emphasis on what we are saying. In affirmative and negative sentences, the structures are: it is plus noun or noun phrase, pronoun plus relative clause. It was plus noun or noun phrase or pronoun plus relative clause. It wasn't the Romans who invented sundials. It's Ulan who is right. In interrogative sentences, the structures are: is it plus noun or noun phrase or pronoun plus relative clause. Was it plus noun or noun phrase or pronoun plus relative clause. For example, was it your brother who saw the water clock? What plus subject plus verb plus is or was. For example, what Berg loves most is ancient history. Now, do the exercise to consolidate this grammar topic. Rewrite the following sentences as cleft sentences. Let's check. Now, look at the useful language box. Learn asking for, giving, and responding to advice. Task number 4. You will hear an interview with a public speaking expert. While listening, complete the sentences.
Hello, this is Daisy Michaels, and welcome to this week's Uni Life podcast. Today, we've got Dr. Andrew Peterson in the studio, talking to us about how to give a great presentation. Welcome, Dr. Peterson. So, how can we give effective presentations?
Thanks for having me, Daisy. Well, to begin with, confidence is a major factor in how well your presentation goes. If you are a confident speaker, people will be more interested in listening to what you have to say. To appear and be more confident, you can research your subject really well so that you feel comfortable talking about it. You can also practice speaking in front of a mirror or a friend or family member to help you prepare. Another tip is to use open body language. Stand up straight, look at your audience, and don't fold your arms.
Some great advice there. But how can we make sure our audience is interested in what we've got to say?
Well, you should try to grab the attention of your audience. You can use a question, powerful statement, or interesting fact at the beginning or end of your slideshow. This will encourage discussion to take place and may leave your audience with something to think about. Another technique you can try is addressing them directly with questions and eliciting answers. Knowing that they may be asked to contribute to the presentation makes most members of the audience much better listeners.
That seems like a great way to captivate your audience. Any last pieces of advice for us before we run out of time?
Yes, one more thing. Use visuals in your slideshow to get your ideas across. You can even embed a video or attach a piece of music to your slideshow. Also, when displaying statistics or data, insert a visual such as a chart or a graph. Don't display tables of raw data that is difficult to interpret. Analyze and process your data first, produce an appropriate graph or chart, and insert that into your slideshow. One way to do this effectively is to use an infographic. They are a great way to display data and grab the attention of your audience.
Wow, those are some amazing tips. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for today.
Let's check. Okay, students, this is the end of our lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your great work. Goodbye.